Do this. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your man EGlaze, and welcome to another session of the EGlaze Chronicles. I am your humble co-host EGlaze, and after a week of vacation, I'm back. I missed the screen, looking good in the background behind me, representing, and I'm ready to get going. This is our 46th episode of the EGlaze Chronicles. 46. For all those out there who are in this pandemic, it's getting worse. Stay inside and enjoy what we all, and just try to stay out, man. Because the more we can drop this curve, the more we can get out and do things. Because there's a lot going on. And today, man, I'm bringing on a young fella that I'm very proud of, Devon Williams. I used to coach him back in the day when I used to coach middle school football. He's went on to excel in track and field to the point where he's going to get out there and represent us in 2021 in the Olympics. So I'm about to bring my man on. He's 6'12". He jumps over everything. He runs hurdles. He's fast. He does it all. Please welcome Mr. Devon Williams. What's going on, sir?
Yo, what's going on?
Every time, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Well, man, cause I can hear you, man. You tall, man. You're leaning. Me versus
6'12".
I got that from Kevin Garnett, man. So, hey, man, welcome to the show, man. We did an interview 4 months ago or 3 months ago when we first started this. Now you're number 46 on the guest. I tell you how many guests I've had since we started this. But I wanted to bring you back on because I didn't get it. It wasn't as nice as it is, and some things have happened since we last talked. So let me start with this, and I will always do this. I like for you to plug what me versus me means. I love the hat, love the emblem, but talk to us first about me versus me and what does it mean, and and the meaning behind it.
It means a lot, but long story short, it represents the personal struggle that you have with yourself to just improve upon yourself in every way. For me, on and off the track, trying to improve myself, but also with that is not comparing yourself to others, because when you compare yourself to others, that can kind of fog you up and jam you up because you feel like you're not progressing in the way that you should, but really you'll be blocking all your blessings or not realizing your blessings because you're just comparing yourself to somebody else who's on a whole nother journey. So me versus me is basically just what you hear when you say it is yourself versus yourself, not yourself versus any other person, really.
During this time, and we all know that this was supposed to be Olympic 2020. This was supposed to year, but due to the pandemic, everything has been pushed to 2021. When we last talked, you was talking about refocusing and getting ready for next year and trying to get everything back together. What has it been like this summer for you, knowing that's not there? How have you handled this pandemic? You being a world traveler, haven't been able to travel. So what has it been like for you going from potential being in the Olympics in 2020 to now having to take a step down and getting ready for 2021?
It's actually been a pretty smooth process for me. At UGA, where I train at University of Georgia, the track is still open, so you can still go there and practice. And everybody's going there to walk now because everybody thinks that since it's COVID and you get stuck inside, now you got to go work out.
Right.
Everything is still open pretty much, besides the weight room that we usually use. But since they closed it down, I went ahead and bought a lot of gym equipment from my garage. So I've been able to still lift weights. I've still been going to the track and get my track workouts in. I've been running miles on the streets out here. So, I've still been able to get a lot of work done. The hardest part has just being able to kind of refocus and I was focused on making the team this summer. So with it being pushed back a whole year, it just kind of forced you to refocus and kind of take a step back from training and do things a little differently, a little bit less intense, but still make progress in the areas that you need to make progress in. But that comes being an athlete. You always got to kind of refocus. And with me personally, I went through a lot of injuries. So I think the injuries have kind of helped me during this process because I've been able to kind of, when I get injured, I have to refocus to basically next year. So I've dealt with having to postpone my goals basically a year. So it's kind of just kind of that same sort of feeling. Just I'm healthy now, so
Yeah,
that's the positive part.
that is the positive. But one thing that you've been doing since you probably was 5 is compete. You've been competing every year, and whatever it is, whether it's football, base, whatever you've been able to do is compete. How has that been for you too? I know you've had injuries where you couldn't compete because of the injury, but this is something that's been, you haven't been able to compete, but you have to. That I guess that's what me versus me come in for real, because there hasn't been too much competition against anybody. So this has had to be where that self-discipline and all that comes in for it. How has that been for you? That lack of, I don't want to say, lack of competition, because that we know how I know how you are. You thrive off competition. So how has it been for you to be able to not have that?
Like you said, I've been a lifelong athlete, so I've been competing since I was 6 years old, probably before that. But this is like I really had to tap into my mindset, the me versus me mindset, because I'm practicing every single day by myself now.
Mm-hmm.
So whether I'm running on the sidewalk for a few miles or whatever, it's just me in my head, like pushing myself to keep running. If it's me in my garage lifting weights, it's just me. I have to force myself to stay focused and complete my workout. I got to make myself go to the track, even though there's really nothing to train for right now. Like we're about to go ahead and take our off-season break pretty soon. But up until this point, I've been having to force myself to kind of get out there and make sure I get my workouts in and stay in shape and just stay focused, really.
Being a world-class athlete like you are, and being a decathlete especially, are you concerned about anything with this type of time off? Do you kind of look to yourself and say, man, I know what's coming up next year. So do you worry about, am I still at the same pace or anything like that? Or are you just working out and do you not even focus on stuff like that? You just ready to, once it comes out? Because 2021 is going to be a big year. We all know that.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of uncertainty for, I'm sure, a lot of y'all. It's like in every sport, but especially for track and field. So what are some of your mindset right now to make sure that you don't overthink, that you just keep training and doing some of the things that you can do and normally do?
I think that's part of being an athlete, is just all of us love to compete and we thrive on competing. So and I think when we go without competition for a long time, I think all of us kind of have that thought, like, am I going to come back the same?
Mm-hmm.
But personally, in my experience, I've always come back stronger from my injuries. So, when I've been injured, I take a step back and I refocus and I work out all my small muscles and, do my whole rehab plan. And, I always come back fresh and really I come back better after my injuries. So I'm thinking that it's going to be that same type of situation for next year. I've been able to, like I said, take a step back, do different workouts, focus on my weaknesses. And, I'm looking forward to coming back. I think I'll come back probably in the best shape of my life. Also, because before the season got canceled, I was I could improve.
I think I froze up. Hold up, D. I think I might have froze up, or you may have froze up. Give us 1 second, everybody. Having a little technical difficulties. All right, now, just looking. Oh, it's coming back up right now.
Do you see me?
Yep, we're good. There you go. There you go.
All right, cool. I had to move to another part of my house.
Yeah, trust me, man. I know these Wi-Fi's don't always work, so we had to make sure we get it there. But yeah, man, you were talking about this year and some of the things you've been doing.
Yeah, I think I'll probably come back stronger next year, just because having this time off, like I said, I take a step back and I can kind of do different workouts without having to push myself to be ready by this competition date. So it's kind of been more of a relaxed schedule.
Right.
And like the rest of my injuries, I've kind of been able to come back after them, and I've been stronger, which has surprised me every time. So I kind of feel like this will be the same type of situation.
As far as you have that unique situation, and I will harp on this until both of y'all retire, that your sister is also a world-class athlete. And being able to share some of the things that you are going through with somebody in your family who can also relate to that has to be a huge help for you, because she's having to do the same thing. She's having to sit on there and say, all right, I'm gonna have Decathlete, so now I got to sit back and wait for 2021. So how much is that important for you to be able to have somebody you can bounce stuff off of and talk to her and to help you get through this process? Because y'all both are going through it at the same time, which is awesome to say the least. But how has that been able for both of y'all to be able to have each other during this time?
It's good. It's been vital. She gets lonely, so I got to FaceTime her more often these days. But we've been keeping each other company. She's been coming over every now and then. I'll come over and visit her and her dog. So we just try to be there for each other and kind of make sure that we're both staying focused. She bought a lot of equipment for her little apartment that she has. So she's still doing work. She's still going to the track and still lifting weights and stuff like that. So it's been good that we've been able to kind of be in the same area for not only our whole life, but our whole track career. And it's worked out for both of us, I think.
I want to make sure that everybody understands that you are a decathlete. I'm talking to Devon Williams, U.S. Olympian. He will be an Olympian, U.S. world champion, U.S. champion. I can say that he won the world U.S. champion. He will be a world champion Olympian coming forward. Decathlete, 10 events. I got to ask this just because I know how hard it is for me when I was in college and trying to play sports. The meals and the diet. Mm-hmm. How are you able to, this has been hard. Quarantine weight is serious. How has it been for you, knowing that I got to get this, I got to stay in shape and I got to work out, but it's a lot of food in there and mama around the corner. Moms can go hook up something and all that. How's it been for you, man, just trying to keep that diet together? That's what I'm about to say. Maybe you need something to eat, but how's it been for you, man, just to be able to try to maintain that diet?
It's been pretty easy for me. I've been doing it for, I think, so long that it's kind of the second nature. I will say I've been eating a little bit more sweets these days. I got a sweet tooth, so after dinner, it's time for sweets. But I've still been eating healthy. I've still been staying up on my diet, and making sure that my weight's still been the same as before COVID hit. So I've still been eating right, and I've still been working out and keeping up on my workouts and staying in shape. So it hasn't been too hard.
But are you at the weight you want to be at for your career right now? Are you at the good weight that you want to stay at? Is there? Because I always wonder when you get to a certain level, your body better than anybody. Are you comfortable with this weight, and that's where you want to continue, or did you always when you let's say when you have an injury, do you say I need to bulk up a little bit? Do I want to stay the same? What's your ideal weight to be able to compete for you?
I never thought about it like that when I had an injury. It's just kind of, making sure that I'm still eating when I have an injury. I don't really try to bulk up or even lose weight. It's just I kind of keep the same eating schedule, and it's been like that pretty much since I've been in college, I think. I pretty much since about 2012 when I came into school, I've been around 190 to 195. Right now I'm about 190. Okay. I think the heaviest that I've gotten in the off season, like when we were lifting super heavy before the season started, when I was in college, I got up to about 200, and that's the heaviest I've ever been. But then when the season started that same year, I naturally came back down to like that 195 area. So I'm pretty much used to competing between 190 and 195, but to be honest, I don't really feel that much of a difference between those two. I think because they're so close, and hasn't really made that much of a difference for me.
Shout out to your cousin Phyllis Adams. Says hello, Devon. Love and hugs from your cousin in Tennessee. She's so very proud of you. Yeah, so she wanted to make sure we get that in there for her. How do you? It's always funny when you hear the stories of world-class athletes like yourself. I remember the great swimmer. I can't think of his name right now to tell you your age. He used to talk about Mike Phelps, how many calories he had to take in, because not only with you doing 10 events, you have to make sure you don't fall below a weight. I know you've been doing this a long time, so people probably wouldn't understand the amount of calories you have to intake so that you don't drop below 190. So talk about how many calories, because I know we're going to piss some people off that how many calories you can get, but how many calories do you have to maintain to be able to stay at 190? Because you running and distance and throwing and all that, that can pull your weight down as well.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't check my calories, and I've never really checked my calories. It's kind of just been based on how my body feels. So, you know, I'll make sure that I'll fuel properly before a practice or a competition. So I really just go based on how I feel. So when I'm fueling, I'll eat until I feel like I'm good enough to go, you know, do whatever I have to do for that day. If it's a big meat, I might eat a little bit more before I have to burn all those calories, because I know I'm gonna burn the calories, but you know, I don't really know how much it's gonna be.
Right.
But then, you know, you eat throughout a decathlon, so we'll be out there for I don't know how many hours each day, 5 to 7 hours a day. And we each have like our own snack lunch box with a bunch of snacks and fuel in it that we gotta kind of plan and eat throughout the day. So, you know, when I'm feeling, you know, sluggish in the competition, I'll go on my bag and I might eat like a chewy bar or something to pick my energy up. I might eat something like some fruit snacks or something to give me some quick energy. But then after a competition, you know, my muscles will feel sore, my body will feel tired, I'll feel all groggy. So then that's time to really like eat heavy, like eat some chicken, some rice, vegetables. And, you know, I just kind of feel that way. But I don't really keep track of how many calories it is. I just kind of eat based on how my body feels. And, you know, I think now it's kind of just second nature to where I don't even think about the calories. I just know that I'm burning them and I know that I got to put them back.
I just want to keep y'all up. Thank y'all for joining us. This is world-class athlete, Decathlete, Devon Williams. Devon, you mentioned something recently and why I wanted to bring you on. And I guess this is the serious portion of the show. We know what's been going on in the streets, and you being an African-American, and we've seen the things that's happened with George Floyd. And you put out something that kind of touched me about you fight so hard to drape yourself with that American flag when you're competing. But it kind of touched you differently during this time to see what some of the reactions of America has been towards us, towards African-American. What did this time do for you? Because you are representing USA whenever you compete, whenever you were competing in international competition. Talk to us about this time for you as an Olympian, a future Olympian, a world-class athlete, and the thing that you felt during this time about being an African-American athlete in America.
Yeah, I just, you know, when I spoke out about it, I kind of just wanted to get across how it feels to be Black in America. And, you know, for me, you know, when I go to a grocery store, I'm looking at people's faces to see how they react to me. And, you know, I'll just be walking in regular clothes and there'll be people that look me up and down, just shopping, like making sure, even if I'm not at the grocery store, like if I'm like in the clothes store in the mall or something, like people would just be looking at me crazy. So, you know, I think that's like a side that not everybody knows if you haven't gone through it. So I think just by looking a certain way, you know, a lot of people they don't understand that, you know, everybody's fighting their own battles and everybody's going through their own kind of experience. So, you know, I haven't gone through anything too crazy as far as, you know, racism or police brutality, but, you know, racism comes in a lot of different shapes and sizes. And, you know, I think it's just important for me to make sure that I speak out about the battles that a lot of other people are facing, and that a lot of people don't really understand what's going on right now.
Yeah. Shout out to your I think it's your aunt, Bridget Jones Kennedy. She said, proud of your nephew. Just wanted to make sure we put that out there. But people don't realize, and I think that's what people don't realize, that you represent your country around the world. And people don't realize that you're working your butt off, that once you win an event, they're playing the national anthem.
Yeah,
but
you carry the flag around and you got the flag on your chest.
And you got all that on there, but when you go into a grocery store, people don't realize the way they look at you. You're like, I'm proud of that. I'm working for this country just as much as you are. So does that it do anything to? What has this meant? What did it change anything about you? I mean, I know you're going to still compete. You still want to be the world's best. But what did it make you look at? Did you talk to your sister about it, your family about this time frame for you? Because now we looking at you as a world-class athlete representing our country. And when you go out there, people are going to see that.
Yeah. I mean, it's still my goal to represent the USA to the best of my ability. And my sister as well. Like, she wants to compete to the best of her ability as well. But I think we still have a responsibility to speak out against these issues and make people aware, because like you said, we do carry the flag, and every time we win something, they play the national anthem and you stand on top of the podium with the flag on your chest. All your gear says USA. So, it's important that we as athletes still speak out about these issues, even though a lot of people think that athletes shouldn't speak out. But at the end of the day, we're all humans, and we're still people. So I think we still have the responsibility of standing up for things that we believe in, but also amplifying the voices of people that might not have as far as of a reach as we do.
Do you feel like sometimes it's weird to say this, because I just realized sometimes it just hit me, the stuff that you're doing, you are being able to do because of the path that others have been able to do for you. You're part of that lineage, from the Jesse Owens to the guys that have worked and busted their butts in the day to get to you today. You're the new generation of Olympic athlete. What does that mean? Have you met some of those legends that have been able to do the things in the Olympics athletes, and what did that mean to you to be able to carry the torch that they created for you in today's time?
I haven't been able to meet any of the legends like Jesse Owens and times like people from those times, but I have met people that I looked up to while I was in high school, such as like Ashton Eaton and Trey Hardy, and I looked up to those guys and their work ethic, and I kind of wanted to mold myself after them. And it was 2016 was the first year that I actually saw those guys in person, and that was kind of a real experience for me, because I went from watching those guys on YouTube and on TV to now I'm competing next to them. So ever since 2016, I kind of felt like the torch was being passed, and it was the new generation coming in. And now I feel like us as a new generation, we have a responsibility to make we have a responsibility to motivate the next generation, basically is what I'm trying to say. And that's something that, when I look back, I'm looking at myself as a high schooler, and I'm thinking about all the high schoolers now that might be looking at me and other athletes as their role models. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm moving right and doing all the right things that I need to do to motivate them and keep them on the right track.
For all those out there for Black Twitter, yes, Jesse Owens passed a little while ago, but I don't want y'all to think we're crazy. We understand. I'm just trying to make some lineage and the years and all that. Yeah. So anyway, but and that's great you say that, because you are now at that level that, and now that you say that, because in high school you saw cats that you wanted to compete against and wanted to be at, but now people are looking at you like, all right, that's the guy I want to be at. Does that motivate you more because you got eyes on you, and that people are watching you and looking now that you are being mentioned as one of the greatest athletes in the world?
It definitely motivates me. When I was in high school, I had a lot of trouble making USA teams. Like, I didn't make my first USA team until, I didn't make my first professional USA team until 2017. And since then, I've made a couple more. But when I was in high school, I missed out on a lot of opportunities that I was shooting for. And I kind of saw myself as a guy with tons of potential, and I knew I would get there, but a lot of people doubted me and never gave me a chance, or just saw me like missing out on these USA teams, thinking I wasn't a good athlete, to where now I'm making these teams and I'm the US champion, and I'm a role model for other people. So it definitely motivates me, like when I look back to where I used to be, and a lot of people just saw me as just some average athlete, but I put in a lot of work over time, and I stayed focused, and Now I'm the U.S. champion. Now I'm making USA teams that I was wishing I would make when I was in high school. So, it's special to me.
When did you turn the corner to know that you can compete at that level? When did you know? Because like you said, you had your time where you weren't making those teams. And did you ever have self-doubt, or did you know that would work that you would? And when did you know? When did that corner hit that you like, oh, I'm at that level now. I know I can compete at that level?
Well, I always had a gut feeling, and I think that's what kind of kept me on the right track all these years, is I always knew that eventually, like, all my hard work would pay off and all these trials and tribulations I'm going through, it would pass. But I think when I actually turned the corner was probably at the Olympic trials, and I placed fifth. And that was big for me, even though I felt like I could have made the team to Rio. But it was after a long college season, and I was happy with the way I competed for the most part, and I was fifth in the nation at that time, behind some great athletes, and one of the people I looked up to, like Ashton Eaton, I was behind them. So I think that was like the first time I kind of was like, all right, like I can do this. Like all hard work is paying off. I just got to stay focused and keep going now.
I know we talked earlier about me versus me, and that the competition that you deal with is mainly with yourself. But let me ask you this. When you are competing at the world class, at the level that you're competing with, do you look, and I'm going to ask this because I don't want to, do you see who's in, like, to be the U.S. champion? The bar line from Ric Flair, to be the man, you got to beat the man. You're the U.S. champion. But do you know people, do you watch other people and know who's your biggest competition, not only in the United States, but also in the world? And do you kind of keep an eye on them, or do you not even focus on them? What's that process like? Because, you're on that other level now of competition. So now you know who can get to certain points and certain levels and how many points people are getting. Do you watch that, or do you just kind of just focus on what you're going? I know this year is different because of the pandemic, but overall, do you kind of know who's your biggest competition and some of the things that you need to watch out for and look for, and how many points you need to get to maybe be able to beat them when you do compete against them?
I think at this level, I think everybody knows kind of who each other is. So, at a lot of the big competitions at this level, you kind of start seeing a lot of the same people.
Right.
So all the people that are, top in the nation or top in the world when you get to that level. But for me, I don't look at other competitors and like say, oh, they're doing this, so I gotta practice more in this. It's more of an experience. So when I compete against them, I know like what their strengths are. I know what their weaknesses are, because everybody has a weakness in decathlon for the most part. But it's nothing like I'm like stalking, the next guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's just kind of an experience. We spend 2 days together competing really against ourselves and our personal best scores. But you get to know those guys when you're out there for that long, and it's more of a friendship, I guess, that you form as opposed to like a rivalry. So I think the decathlon is way different in a lot of aspects compared to like the sprints or field events, because you're out there, you're also competing against yourself, because everybody wants to be better than their personal best. They want to get a new personal best. But as far as the multi events, if you're out there trying to beat this one guy in each event, you're not going to score your best, because that guy isn't going to win every single event. So if you're just out there trying to beat one guy, there's this other guy that's going to win this event. There's this other guy that's going to win that event. So, you're really selling yourself short. So in the decathlon, you got to really just focus on what your goal is for each event, and, execute in each event as best as you can.
Every time we talk about this, your best event. And I'm saying that because all of them are great events. But we always talk about the hurdles. And one of my good friends that I've been able to meet, and me and Maceo on the Crush, is Terrence Trammell. And we know him from his hurdling days and what he's done and all that. I know it's no, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. Do you ever think that if I concentrated on that one event, that I could possibly be world class in that as well? Because you put them up and down pretty good on them hurdles, man, and that 110.
Yeah, I think I could if I focused if I just focus on the 110, I think I could still be world class. But for me, you know, I've been in the multi event since I was 11, and back then it was the pentathlon, which was 5 events.
Right.
So, you know, ever since that point, you know, and I won my first national championship when I was 11 in the pentathlon. So ever since that point, that's kind of like when I was like, okay, this is my event. Even though I was a hurdler before I was a multi-event guy.
Yeah.
After I won that national championship, I was like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. So growing up, I've just kind of developed each event to where now it's like I like doing every event. So if I just did the hurdles, if I focus on the hurdles, I will be thinking about, man, I want to go long jump. Man, like, what about pole vault?
You missing some
Like, man,
things.
I'm gonna throw a javelin. Yeah, like I need to throw a javelin or something. So
gotta do
you know,
something else, man. That's interesting.
yeah. But I have thought about you know, just doing the hurdles, but at the end of the day, I'm a decathlete. So, you know, that's my event. But you know, who knows what the future holds? I don't know.
Right.
I'm just going with the punches.
That's interesting, man, because, you know, some of your times are ridiculous. Low 13s, if I'm not mistaken, maybe, you know, it's just crazy, some of your times. When you are doing what you do, man, somebody said, Samaya Bashir, I think you know her.
Yeah, that's my girl.
She said, accept the 1500, and she said, LOL. But
no, I like the
I didn't want to bring that up. I didn't want to bring that up. So I just I thought that was funny that she brought that up. But
yeah,
overall, man, do you have a trophy room?
A trophy room? Not at my house here, but at my parents' house. Their whole house is kind of like me and Kendall's shrine. So we got like trophies like all over the fireplace, all behind the dining room table. They just bought like these big, I don't even know what they're called, but they're huge, like taller than me, like shelves for our trophies and stuff like that. The only thing I have here is in my garage, like where I lift. I just bought like a bunch of frames for my jerseys, like my USA jerseys, and you know I hung those in my garage. But that's about it that I have here.
So
I think
you
for
don't really,
me and Kendall, our awards, we just give them to our parents and like just let them show them, because that's kind of, they got us into the sport. So, you know, both of us, we won our national championship rings, and my dad is the one who wears them every day.
wow. So that's interesting. So you don't need the cedar bling. You know that it's, you know, because I know me, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you this right here. These are all the plaques from you up here too. This is when I coached all my teams I've coached, and I think that's your team right there, your squad. One of these is that one right there is y'all squad right here.
Okay.
All white.
Yeah.
We took pictures in all white that day. And so I know for me, it takes, I love seeing things like that, but that doesn't motivate you, or it doesn't do anything for you to see. I know you're at their house, but to wake up and be like, yeah, that's that U.S. championship right there. That's that national. That don't do anything for you. Is it about the next competition for you?
I do love seeing it, actually. But for me, I kind of felt like if I had everything like hung up around the house, I would kind of start to get complacent and be like, oh yeah, I did that, or like, oh, that was a good year. And even though I feel like I could turn that into motivation, I just rather just give it to my parents and just kind of let them sit in it every day. And, you know, because they're the reason that I even do this, really. So,
Right.
you know, for them to wake up and just see everything that me and my sister have done over the years, I feel like that makes them happy, and you know that makes me happy to make them happy. So, you know, I'm happy to kind of just, you know, win something and give it to them and let them put it up wherever they want to put it up at. But I will say that I give my dad a hard time a lot with my ring, because that's the only ring that I got while I was in school. So I make sure that he takes care of me. I make sure that he cleans it. And you know, I told him, like,
if it
one
ain't
day when
shining, you don't want to see it. You like, it better be shining when I see you, Dad. I want to see you sparkling when I see it.
And then I told him, like, one day when I have grandkids, like, I want to be able to wear my ring. That's what I want to wear. Like, I don't want to wear it right now, but when I'm retired and old one day, I want to wear my ring every day. So he knows to take care of it for me.
You know, Devin, I know you're still young. You're still trying to achieve goals. But do you ever think about your legacy and what you want it to be?
Yeah. But I don't really try to force my legacy. I kind of just do my thing, and I want my legacy to kind of form by itself. I want people to, tell me like, oh, he's the one that, motivated me to do this.
Right.
Or, I just kind of want to motivate people. That's what I'll say. But I want people to I want people to form my legacy for me, if that makes sense. I don't want to force my legacy. I don't want to say, oh, my legacy going to be this, this, and this. Like, I just want to, compete, win some things, and motivate people along the way. And, whoever gets motivated to do whatever, that'll make me happy.
You've done it on every level. I know you're getting to do it on the highest level. You excelled in high school track. You've done well. You, like you say, national champion at Georgia. You're a U.S. champion for you now, and that's at least one. The world championship and Olympic championship for you. I know it's a weird question, but I gotta ask, how close you think you are to achieving that goal?
Achieving the world champion and Olympic champion?
Yeah.
I think anything is possible, and that's kind of how I've always thought. And I think that's pretty much why I'm still competing, because, I had all the reasons to quit when I was younger, whether it was injuries or, just not being good enough to make a team. Like, I had all the reasons to quit and just do something else. So I think my progression kind of shows what I can do when I put something at the forefront of my mind and think about it every day and train for it every day. I think the only thing left is time. So for me, I'm just thinking about working hard right now, and then, whatever comes after that, I'm gonna be happy with, whether it's, Olympic champion, world champion, or, even third place. Like, whatever happens is gonna be a result of what I'm doing today. So, with that, I kind of make sure that I stay, focused, stay working hard, and, keep myself healthy. And if that's all I can really do anyways, like, that's all I have control over. So, when I do those things, all I got to do is wait on the time to come.
Francine Hinton say, so proud of you, Franny from New York. She just wanted to give that shout out to Aunt Franny. So let's talk about that. I've always been a big, huge fan of your parents. I've known your dad. I've known y'all for it's a long time. I don't like to tell my age sometimes because of what we know. I don't think people understand what they not only did for you, but what they've done, and for your sister, but what they've done for athletes and track athletes. There's a lot of people that have came out of those programs that worked with your dad, and some Dwyers, some athletes that came out of this East Cobb, Cobb area. Talk about the importance of his legacy and what he's leaving as far as track and field. I always say one of my biggest people and friends to this day is my coach Foster from track and field, who was Quicksilver, and I know what y'all guys did. But talk about some of the things that he's did to push athletes, not only like yourself and your sister, but other athletes as well, that people don't know he's had a big part of helping and progress their careers as athletes as well.
Yeah, like, not only, like you said, not only with my sister and me, he was my coach in almost every sport I played growing up. So I wanted to play football, he was my football coach. I want to play baseball, he was my baseball coach. He was my track coach, obviously, when I was growing up. So he kind of molded me into the athlete that I am today. But not only me, a lot of other people got scholarships in track because of his coaching. So he's done a lot for kids in Cobb County of all ages, giving them an outlet, after school, come practice. You might not be good at the 100, but you might be good at shot put, just putting them in different events, finding them something to do that works for them the best. And, for a lot of kids, that's turned into, not only a love for the sport, but a scholarship at a university. So, he's done a lot for a lot of people's lives, not only my sister and me.
Just keeping in that same vein, you talk about what you've done. Do you feel like, do people know who you are sometimes? Do you feel like people know you? Do you feel like you're, when people go around, I mean, you got a nice little following. I know you got your social game up, but do you feel like you're, I know you're recognizable, but do you feel like you're getting that? I know you're a humble kid, and I appreciate it. That's what I love about you, that you're very humble. But do you feel like you're getting that that world respect that you want or that you deserve, or you don't even worry about things such as that?
I don't really think about it until like something happens. Until like somebody says, "Oh, Devin," and then somebody like I don't even know. That happened at one meet I went to in Austria. It's called Gotses, which is a big decathlon, heptathlon meet, and it's only the decathlon heptathlon. So everybody there is a fan of the multi events, which is super rare because if you go to just a regular track meet, we'll be out there in the morning getting ready to start, and there'll be nobody in the stands.
Right.
But at this specific meet, though, like everybody is enthusiastic about the multi events. So there were a lot of people there that knew who I was that I didn't know who they were. But it's funny that you asked that because like a couple of weeks ago, I went to the track to do my workout, and there was this guy that came up to me and he was like, "You're Decathlete, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Williams?" And I was like, "Yeah, Devon Williams." And that was like shocking to me because I had to step like 2 feet onto the track, and this guy just ran up to me and was like, "I know you." It's like, I know I've seen you on TV before. So, and that was surprising to me. But then after like I spoke to him for a while, I was still walking around the track to get to where I was gonna sit down and get ready to start my practice. And there is this other lady that was like, "Hey, I just seen your post on Me versus Me."
Wow.
And then I was like, wow, at that point. And I even remember I texted my mom. I was like, "I think I'm famous." I was being sarcastic. Like, I know I'm not like a big celebrity or nothing, but that was like shocking to me to have like 2 instances like that happen one after the other on the track. Of all places, it was on the track where I train at. So that was something that happened recently that was shocking. But I don't think I'm this big celebrity or nothing. Like, I'm not, like you said, I'm a humble guy, and I don't really think about things like that until they actually happen.
You talk about it, and we mentioned it throughout the show about your brand, and not only the Me versus Me, but the Devon Williams brand. How important is it for you? Because you keep yourself low key, you do things, you take care of yourself, you know that the goal is bigger. How important is it for you to make sure that the people that Devon Williams is seeing, the Me versus Me brand, to represent it in the correct way, to make sure it's being shown the correct way, have the correct light on it, that whenever they see you compete, they know they're going to get 100%, whether you injure yourself or whatever? How important is it for you to make sure that the brand that you're portraying and the brand that you put out there is put into a highlight, a great light for people to see?
It's super important to me because, my brand, not only just myself as a person, but my Me versus Me brand is a reflection of me. So, and with it being a reflection of me, it's a reflection of my parents and how I was raised. So, I always want to represent my parents in the best light because, they raised me the right way. They made a lot of sacrifices for me and Kendall to be in the positions we are. So both of us make sure that we represent ourselves well, because we know we're also representing our parents and really our whole family. So, we take pride in representing our family best we can.
Yeah, Chris Colley, your cuzzo, say, D, you are definitely a brand. Always proud of you, cuzzo. Shout out to Chris. Thank you for watching.
Fashion Guy NY, yes sir.
Yes, sir. And that's another thing, man. I can't talk enough about the goals that you set. Do you, as a family of athletes, with you and your sister, do y'all set family goals? Or is it that since it is an individual sport, do y'all just say, you know what, we're going to try to get our own? But to do what y'all are doing, I don't think we can say this enough, bro. You're going and doing things on a world stage in probably 2 of the hardest sports in the world, the decathlete and the heptathlon. I mean, do y'all not say to each other, man, let's go out there and kill this, sis. Let's go do this, sis. Let's get these goals, sis. Do y'all not talk about family goals, brother sister goals? Or I mean, I know it's an individual sport. I know it's me versus me, but to do what y'all doing, man, is so rare and so great. y'all are like the Gronkowskis and the and those that type family now, man. People don't realize that y'all are doing some things that a lot of people don't realize y'all are doing. Y'all are competing on a world stage, man. Do y'all talk about family goals?
A lot of goals that we have kind of go without saying. The one goal that I will say we do have is we both want to make the Olympic team together, because that in itself will be history made. I don't think there's been any brother-sister pair that's made the Olympic team together, especially in the decathlon, heptathlon, in the same event, basically. So, that in itself will be history for us. And that's kind of, we came close in 2016, but now next year in 2021, that's what we're looking forward to the most. But, I think there's a lot of goals that we have that go without saying. It's just kind of understood between both of us. We both want to compete to the best of our ability, and we both want to win medals, and we both compete to win. So, with that being said, like, we go into meets trying to, win medals and, place as highly as we can. So, I'll just say that we both want to win medals.
That's awesome, man. You don't put any additional pressure on yourself to do that, though, do you? Do you just, you want to win, but you know that you just have to run your race? Do y'all kind of just understand that you can't put that? There's pressure, then there's that unwarranted pressure that you can put on yourself. And I mean, you've been competing, like I said, since you were 5 or 6. So you know how competition is, and you just kept building on your competition. How do you avoid, and I think I'm going to ask this question like this, how do you avoid putting that unnecessary pressure on yourself and just to let your game do what it got to do?
Well, I've kind of struggled with that ever since I was a kid. Like, I've always put a lot of pressure on myself to, be the best. And I think a lot of that actually comes from being the coach's son my whole life growing up in every sport. So I think I've dealt with, I've been expected to be the best athlete because I was a coach's son my whole life. And, now that I'm getting older and wiser, I think that I found that I compete better when, like, I'm calm and I just let my work talk for me. I don't have to force myself to, be super hard on myself to do this way, or run this time. Like, I just I'm starting to kind of relax and, just let my work come out and speak for itself. That's kind of what I've been working on lately.
Have you heard anything from the USOC or the IOC about what their future plans are as far as competition is concerned? Like I said, we know 2021 is going to be the year, but like you said, you're about to go into your off season, which is funny. It's like it's a long off season, but you're about to go into your off season. Have they relayed anything to you guys as far as potential competition, potential anything? I know it's a lot of wait and see, so I know a lot of us can't really determine that. But have you heard anything about potentials and events and racing and all that?
Well, there actually are some competitions that have gone on. Like, I know there was a couple of them last weekend. And, they're kind of like spacing people out in lanes. So they're skipping lanes so that people aren't so close to each other. But as far as myself, like, I don't plan on competing this year. It's kind of just, finishing this last few weeks of workouts and then going into, regular off season and coming back for regular off season workouts. I'm not trying to force myself to compete this year. I'm kind of just looking forward to next year and making sure I stay healthy for that.
Let me ask, what is a competition? When you're in competition, what's a workout for you? I don't think people understand you don't have to give me the full week, but how long and how many hours a day you put into workouts when you're in competition
before
mode?
COVID?
Yeah, before
COVID. Well, we lift Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And then on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is usually our longer days on the track. So on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we might have like 3 or 4 events a day. And that might take probably like a little over 2 hours probably. And then on those lifting days on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays, we might lift for, like an hour and a half, and then, go out and throw shot put for a little bit, maybe an hour. So we're on the track for a good amount of hours per week, in the sun too.
Yeah. Then like you wait till the shade come in or early in the morning. You're kicking it in throughout the day when it's hot and getting ready.
Yeah.
So how did that during the COVID time? What had that looked like for you? I mean, you don't have the competition, but what has workouts looked for you during this pandemic COVID time?
It's kind of more relaxed, and I've kind of just been doing things that I want to do. So I've still been keeping up with all the Olympic lifts that we do normally. But as far as like on the track workouts or just running workout days, if I feel like running for like just jogging that day, I might go run like 2 or 3 miles or something like that, which is rare. I don't do that too often, but I've done that a few times during COVID. I just get up and I just run a couple miles just because I felt like it. I might go run some hills. I'll focus more on like hurdles. One day I might do some bounding, like a bounding series one day. So it's just kind of whatever I'm feeling like doing that day. And it's kind of made my workouts more enjoyable just because I'm not really like gearing up for a competition. I'm kind of just relaxed, like staying in shape, like doing things that I'm still supposed to be doing, but it's kind of like on my own schedule. I'll just get up whenever I wake up, eat something, then I'll go work out. So it's been really relaxed, but I've still been able to get a lot done.
Wish I can say I just felt and got up and say, I'm gonna hit 2 miles real quick. Let me run that in. I'm not doing that. It's gonna take some pain.
Yeah, my first time I did that, my body was like, yeah, don't do that
again. Are you your hardest critic?
Yeah, for sure.
So do you look at yourself sometimes when you're running, and do you look at those? Do you watch your film? I mean, you hear people say, "I don't try not to watch." Do you watch your film and do you critique yourself very hard, or are you able to say, "All right, I see what I did wrong. Okay, let me work on that"? Or are you like, "Man, what am I doing? I should have did this. I should have hit this." Are you that type of critic of yourself?
Well, for me, I know what I can fix while I'm doing it. So if I'm in a race and I feel myself go over a hurdle and I was too high over the hurdle, or I didn't snap fast enough over the hurdle, I'll know it like while I'm in the race. And like even before I see the film, I'll know like, okay, over the third hurdle, I stepped weird, or I kind of floated over the hurdle. So it doesn't really take me like looking at it. I can kind of tell after I do it, like, man, that wasn't it. Like you didn't push off hard enough, or you didn't snap your trail leg over hard enough, or in all the events, like I can tell, even in practice when I do something, I can feel when it's not like the right way. So I don't really have to watch too much film. I do watch film of myself, but I watch that more so to see what I need to fix rather than feel what I need to fix. Because then when I do it, I feel what I need to fix, but I don't see myself doing it. So then when I watch the film, I kind of put them together, and then it kind of gives me an idea of what I need to do to fix it.
Which is harder for you? Which has been harder for you over the years? The mental or the physical part of this?
Probably that's a good question. I think
I just heard you talking about how you said when you hit that third, you're like, okay, I already know. In the race, I'm thinking mentally I did something. But that's the mental part that a lot of people don't realize. And I think that's a big part of me versus me too, is that mental part that people don't realize. So, I always wonder, as you've grown, if you had injuries, you dealt with things, disappointments. I always think about the mental part. We always say when we coach in football, 90% of it is mental and 10% is physical. But for you, I think you're about to say physical. So which one has been the hardest for you?
I think when I was young, I think it was mental. But I think all the setbacks that I went through over the years, it kind of like hardened me mentally. And I think I kind of grew mentally through those experiences to where now it's just the physical aspect. But my mental game, I think, gets me through a lot of the physical things that you go through being a decathlete.
Right.
So I would probably say physical is more hard these days because of everything that I went through over the years kind of shaped me mentally to be prepared to, take on anything basically that I go through.
It's interesting because, I know a lot of them, once you have those injuries, you're trying to come back, try not to come back too fast, trying to make sure you're fully it takes a lot. So, man, hey, I appreciate you doing this, man. I'm glad we can come back and do this, man. Thank you for staying almost a whole hour with me. We're almost about to finish this, but let me go ahead and put it out there. What's that future like, man? I know we're doing it one day at a time, one meet at a time, but we see 2021. And with so much uncertainty going on, I know it's hard to see what all is going on. But what do you see future-wise? You getting ready for and trying to do and preparing yourself for coming up?
Whatever's meant for me. Whatever's meant to happen is going to happen. All I can focus on is, doing the work every day, doing the work that it takes to get anything that I want. So, the only thing that I can control is the work that I do, the things that, I'm telling myself, the things that I'm feeding myself. I can only control what I can control. So other than that, I'm going to just let whatever blessings come to me come, because, I put in the work. And if I don't put in the work, then I don't deserve, whatever it is I'm working for. So all I can focus on is what I'm doing, and then let everything take care of itself.
And there it is. Hey, man, I need you're going to have to sign something for me one day, because I gotta put up my athletes that I have association with, man. I'm proud of you, man. I'm very proud of you, man. And I'm just proud that I was able to coach you for 6 months one time and to see your growth and all that. So I want you to do this for me before we go. Talk about Me Versus Me, where they can put up some products, get that in, and also where they can find you on social media, brother.
Yeah, so Me Versus Me, this is the MVM crown, and it just represents, all the battles that you've gone through and overcome. And, it encourages you not to compare yourself to other people, because when you compare yourself, you lose sight of the progress that you're actually making. So, I encourage people to, just focus on yourself, build yourself up, and, progress by, working hard, staying focused, and focusing on yourself. And, I have, at the website for my brand is shopmvm.com. And we have hats like these. We have T-shirts, hoodies, shorts, socks, a bunch of stuff. Some for anybody and everybody. So shopmvm.com. The Instagram for Me Versus Me is at the MVM Crown. And then my personal Instagram page is at 1D Millions.
Y'all see it. Somebody put it up there, shopmvm.com. Me Versus Me. Phyllis Allen said, great job, Devon. Again, I will never tell you, and I always brag about you. I always say, yeah, that's my guy right there. Keep up the great work, man. I love the fact that it is funny you say that whatever happens will happen. You just got to keep working every day, man. And I think that's what we will that's what we'll sign off on, because I think people need to do that more in these times. And shopmvm.com, everybody. The great Devon Williams. I'm putting that great in front of him. I'm so proud of him. Tell your sister I got to do an interview with her one day. Maybe she can, I can squeeze that in, because I want to talk to her too. But keep doing your thing, man. And this is on YouTube, so share it. You can watch it later, guys. It's on the Facebook page, OTV Media. So you can always watch this and reshare it. I'm gonna put some things out, because it was a great interview with a world-class athlete. Everybody try to say that, but you actually can say that. Mr. Devon Williams, thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This is the EGlaze Chronicles. We'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Peace.
Peace out.